Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming podcast. Today is the 27th of January 2019. My name is Kralizec and I will be one of your two hosts for the evening, the second being Tygergamer. Hello Tiger, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
I'm super tired after this week. It was just, oh man, so much work at school. I don't want to go through this ever again, but I will have to, at least at the end of the year. It's going to be even worse at the end of the year, but holy hell. This was a ton of work. But we are here to talk about video games, so I suggest we do that. What do you say?
Alright, let's do it.
So, did you get to play anything interesting this week?
Yeah, I got to play a little game called Bedlam, which is inspired by 90s FPS games, and you play as a woman who gets trapped in a game that's from the 90s, and you got to try and find your way out. And in this game, it explores different genres. Like there's one level where you're pretty much playing Space Invaders, but in first person. And there's also a level based off of Pac-Man where you play it in first person as well. And there's just a lot of meta humor in this game.
You know what? Like that sounds to me like somebody watched that one Futurama episode where Fry asks the machine.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
what if life was more like a video game? And if I remember correctly, there's literally Space Invaders there. There's Pac-Man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's there. But I'm watching the trailer right now. How old is this game?
It came out back in 2014.
Huh.
I had a mild curiosity about the game, and I saw it was on sale last week, so I got the game for like $4. I was like, why the heck not?
You know what? This doesn't look to me like a game from 2014. I would say that this looks more like a PS1 era sort of game.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe not PS1, maybe like early PS2, but still, it's like, you went retro this week, man.
Yeah, I did. But also, I would say I have not completed the game yet, but one of my favorite parts in the entire game so far is at one point you actually get trapped in a death match where you actually play. You have to kill NPCs that are acting like they're controlled by real people, and you actually hear, like when you kill someone, you actually hear the remarks through their mics.
Okay.
I thought it was hilarious.
So I'm gonna guess it's mostly trash talk.
Yeah, pretty much.
Toxic Gaming Community Simulator 2019.
But the way they put it in there, I thought was so amazing. That was like one of my favorite parts of the game. I was like, this is good. This is real good.
You know,
and
recently,
also,
recently I've been going through a lot of lists of games. I've noticed like there are so many weird simulators out there. I'm betting you if somebody went and created literally a Toxic Gaming Community Simulator, it would sell well.
Oh yeah.
Because so many weird simulators out there. Like, what was the weird one? I think I saw like a lawing simulator. You know, just to mow a lawn. And I was like, what?
Oh, wow.
And it had like positive reviews. I was like, what the hell? Why do people play these things?
They would rather play a simulation than actually do it in real life.
Yeah, but then at least you have your mow lawn.
Yeah, really.
It's just like, holy hell. I can understand like the goat simulator, fad and those things. Those are just, that's something weird. But just,
yeah, I agree.
There are like truck simulators that are so hugely popular, especially in Germany. Just go get a driver's license for a truck.
Yeah.
No,
But you also can take an account.
No, I literally read an article like 3 days ago saying there are like 150,000 truck drivers missing in Europe. You could get a job, a well-paid job. Instead of sitting in front of your computer, you could do the same exact thing. So confusing to me.
I think the reason why simulators are more popular than the actual thing is because you're free to do what you want to do, whereas if you like don't get a job as a truck driver, you'd have to follow a bunch of regulations.
No, but a bunch of these people played like as they would be driving a truck. You know, they drive at the speed limit. They follow the rules, the laws. I've heard that some of them, like, they even take regular breaks because, you know, when you're driving like long haul, you're supposed to take like a break every 4 hours, and they do that. And they're just like, why? I'm not saying people. I would like to start saying, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. It just confuses the shit out of me.
But yeah, though, going back to Bedlam, if you like these types of games, like we were talking about earlier, yeah, it is reminiscent of 90s FPS games, and it plays like it, and it feels like it too. So if you're a fan of those games, I'll tell you, go for it. Right now on the PS Store, on PSN, it costs $10, but I got it on sale, so take it as you will. But you'll see this game on Xbox One and PC, and if you're interested in this game, hey, don't give it a try.
That's good advice, I think. So I myself got to play only one single game this week. Again, I was just swamped, like Kanushin, and to give you like an illustration of how much swamped I was, this wasn't even a PC game. I played a mobile game because that was the only thing I had time for. So one evening I was like, holy hell, I need to play something because it's my job. But I can't go to the computer because I have to also do my work. So what could I do? I was just like, I don't know, I'll check if there's something interesting on mobile. Because, you know, that I can play when I'm commuting and like something like that. So I found this thing called Oddmar. And this is a very, very good mobile platformer. It has great graphics, like really great graphics. It has a really funny storyline. Like, I actually laughed a bunch of times. That's not something that happens to me very often, especially with games. And the platforming is, for the most part, really good. I do have one complaint. I sometimes feel like I'm not exactly precisely controlling my characters. Like, like he's slightly floaty, I would say. You know, he keeps traveling a bit longer than you would maybe expect a character to travel. Yeah. But overall, it controls well, it plays well. I really, really enjoy the boss battles. And that's something to say is for the fact that it's a mobile game. And it came out last week. There's a free demo version available that gives you access to the first 6 levels, including the first boss. And if you want to continue on playing, then you have to pay $5 or €5, if I remember correctly. Okay. And while for a lot of people, you know, who still have that sort of mindset that mobile gaming, $5, that's a lot. But this is a full-fledged platformer. If this came out on PC and it cost $5, I would be praising the shit out of it. So you know what? I'm going to do the same thing on the mobile phone.
Yeah.
It's a good game. And I can only highly recommend people buying it. I'm actually going to do a full-fledged review of this. So if you want to know more in-depth information about Oddmar, be sure to wait for that to come out. Hopefully sometime this week. Not tomorrow, because tomorrow we have big teacher session where we'll be sitting at work from 8 a.m. until at least 7 p.m. Yeah.
Dang.
And you know what the worst thing is? The session for teachers is gonna start at 2 p.m. and I have like 7 words to say. But I have to be there.
Dang.
Because half of it's just like going through all the class. Yeah, that's my job. Nobody is interested in that. So, anything else you got to play this week?
Oh yeah, I also finally got around to I started playing The Surge.
Oh man, you waited a long time on this one, and I really enjoyed this one when it came out.
Yeah. So far, I'm enjoying it. Even though dark games that are based on the Dark Souls genre are not my cup of tea, but so far, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Also, one of the main things that stands out to me is when you see an enemy and you see like a piece of gear that they had that you want, you actually have to go and chop that piece of gear off to get it, which I find pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, that was a really good mechanic. I will give them that.
Yeah.
For me personally, the biggest thing was the theme.
Oh yeah.
Because there are plenty of Dark Soulsy games these days out, but very few of them go away from the fantasy theme.
Yeah.
So getting one that's sci-fi themed was like really nice for me because I'm more of a sci-fi fan rather than fantasy fan. Not that I don't like fantasy, but I'm really looking forward to the Surge 2, which should be coming out sometime. I don't remember when, but sometime.
Yeah, I'm finally starting to dig into my backlog of games on PS4, so that's actually one of the reasons why I started playing this, and so far I'm enjoying it.
So I'm actually looking up the Surge 2. It should actually come out sometime this year. It was even some game footage revealed at Gamescom last year. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna give that one a try. There's no specific. It's just PS4, Xbox One, sometime in 2019. So yeah, hopefully that works well. So I would give The Surge a high praise and a quick recommendation for anyone who likes Dark Soulsy games. But what about you?
Yeah. If you like this type of game, I'd say go for it. Just like I said, it's part of the Dark Souls type games, so don't expect it to be easy.
Honestly, I would say it is slightly easier than Dark Souls or even Bloodborne. Yeah. It's like the introductory level to Dark Soulsy games.
Yeah, true.
Which is sort of weird to say. It's like the low difficulty of Dark Souls.
Yeah, honestly, my favorite Dark Souls type game is a game called Neo.
How so?
What's that?
How so?
Well, for one reason is instead of you like being put into an area and you don't have no guidance somewhere to go. Neo is also kind of like that, except it's more of a mission based structure where it's like split into like different levels, and each time you get put into a level, you just gotta go and try and find the boss of the level to actually complete the mission. So
I will say I never really felt like I got lost in the Surge compared to Dark Souls.
Yeah, same here.
Well, okay. Anything else you played this week? Because as I said, haven't.
Nope. That's all I got to play.
Okay, then I guess it's time to move on to the news. And let's start with the top 10 best-selling games of 2019. So let's put on this article that's coming from Game Rant. And originally, this comes from data from NPD Group and their Twitter account, who's run by Matt Pistasella. And we have the top 10 best-selling games of 2018. I'm going to assume this is probably in America, not worldwide.
Yeah.
But still, let's take a look at them. So, at number 1, Red Dead Redemption 2.
No surprise.
Yeah, I'm not
surprised.
Yeah, well, there could be sort of one surprise that this game actually managed to surpass the games that did have all the platforms available to it. You know, that's also a consideration. I also wonder if they take into account like Steam sales and these sort of things. Because all of these games are also released for consoles, so I wonder if this maybe could be only sales in like stores where it would have a heavy bias towards console games. But still, I think it would be fairly accurate either way. But yeah, the Red Dead Redemption as being number 1 is no surprise to no one.
Yeah, really.
Number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. This one is actually a bit of a surprise to me that it's that high.
Not me. This is Call of Duty.
Yeah. And yeah, it's America. In America, Call of Duty is sort of its own thing. Here in Europe, Call of Duty is actually not that big, to be honest.
Huh.
It's
like y'all.
Yeah, it's like... So, yeah, the console players... Obviously, they buy it because it's a good game, but it's not like they are, huge fans for it. It's not like they will go out and wait in lines to get it.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like these types of games, for the casual market, Call of Duty is a name that they recognize, and that's why it sells well every year.
Yeah, maybe it's that sort of thing that your dad buys for you when he doesn't know what game to buy for you.
Yeah.
For Christmas, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3. And number 4, let's do them together because they are essentially the same exact talk. NBA 2K19 and Madden NFL 19. Man, I hate the fact that these games are on top.
Yeah, really.
And the reason that they're so high is why I think this is a purely American list. Because nobody would care about NBA or Madden in anywhere except America. Nobody.
Yeah.
We have FIFA. Because...
What? Well, which I am surprised that FIFA's not at least in the top 5 of the list, considering how popular it is.
Well, probably not as popular in America compared to these two. Apparently, it seems. Maybe also the fact that FIFA has been a bit more prolific with its scandals in terms of microtransactions. Maybe that brought it slightly down. Well, I'm pretty sure NBA and Madden have the same exact systems. They don't get talked about as much. Because, worldwide, FIFA is much bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, number 5. This one is actually a bit of a surprise to me. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And it's a pleasant surprise to mention.
The
reason...
Not to mention, this game came out at the end of the year, so it only had a month to actually get up to this point.
Yeah. Why I'm surprised is because it's the only pure Nintendo game here. So it seems like pretty much everybody who bought a Wii, who bought a Switch, bought Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Like every single person. Otherwise, I don't know.
Once again, I'll say that was actually one of the reasons why I got a Switch, because I knew they're going to release new Smash Brothers. So I was like, why not?
bit of side news. In the United States, the Switch actually managed to outsell all the other consoles in 2018. Though I think the reason for that is mostly the fact that the other consoles are old.
Yeah, true.
Okay, number 6, Marvel's Spider-Man.
Awesome.
Deservedly so. Number 7, Far Cry 5. I think Far Cry is actually getting sort of bland at this point.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to mention, going back to like 5 and 6, those are platform exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
So.
A lot of these games are.
Yeah.
Number 8, God of War, which is sort of sad to see so down, actually. I sort of think this one could... If it replaced NBA or Madden, I would be very happy.
Yeah, same here.
Number 9, Monster Hunter World, which, as I'm looking at it, they have it called Monster Hunter. That's a slight spelling mistake here by Game Rant.
Well, hey, since it has sold that well here in the U.S., more than likely we'll get a sequel to World in the next few years. So.
And hopefully, I hope it sold well as on the PC.
Oh yeah,
because this is a series that deserves to be on the PC.
Yeah, and I'm also glad that it has finally made its way into the mainstream of gaming, because before World, it was more of a niche title.
Yeah.
So.
And last of all, a game I don't like here, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I really hate Assassin's Creed games at this point.
I found enjoyment out of Odyssey, so I'm glad it's on here.
But there's one thing I want to talk about when we're looking at this list. A lot of these games get flack from us as well, and deservedly so. Whether it's Assassin's Creed, whether it's Far Cry, whether it's NBA Madden, or even Call of Duty. But I think we can be glad that even the most mainstream of mainstream games are still good games. Whether you like it or not, these games are good. They have their problems, usually on the monetization side of things. But they're still good games. They play well, they're fun.
Yeah.
And I think we as an industry are actually really lucky that this is the case. That mainstream isn't just something really shitty. Because I think a lot of people will tend to forget, but just a decade ago, the mainstream movies were complete shit. And honestly, if you take away Marvel, a lot of them still are. Like, for example, the Transformers series. Yes, they're shiny and bright and there are a lot of explosions, but the movies are shit. The story is awful, the characters are awful, they're just pretty to look at. And yes, sometimes that is nice to go to just a movie that you can turn your brain off and enjoy a bit of carnage. But Marvel managed to bring stories and interesting characters back into the mix for mainstream movies, and, well, gaming still has that, and I honestly don't remember a time when it didn't have that. Our problem currently is that the monetization side of things, hopefully that gets fixed in the following decade, but at least we still have fun games with decent characters, with semi-decent storylines that work decently well.
Most definitely. And also I'd like to add, don't just think that most games today are full of microtransaction crap. There are a crap ton of games out there that are just plain and simple games.
Well, yeah, definitely. I'm talking about the mainstream games at this moment. The mainstream games are abusing microtransactions to no end.
Yeah.
But if you go even to like AA titles, suddenly the world is bright and colorful and cheery. Not to mention the indie gaming market. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. This one is actually really interesting. It's not positive, it's not negative. It's about a United Kingdom's government whose UK's House of Commons Department for Digital Culture, Media and Sport issued a call for gamers and young people to submit evidence whether they think gaming is harmful or helpful to society. So what you can do if you're, I don't know if you have to be a citizen from the United Kingdom. I haven't looked that far into it, to be honest, but you can essentially send them a letter that can be no more than 3,000 words long, and they will read it and put it into their consideration for their message to the Parliament. So, what's your view on this one?
Honestly, I think them reaching out to actual people that play games and not just having this isolated to like a certain group of people that maybe have never played games in their life, who had their, you know, they had nothing to say on it, but they just still try and base their judgments off what people that don't play games have to say. I think this is great that they asking the people that play games actually send in their stories on where the games are good or bad.
Yeah. I'm actually really glad that something like this exists, and I hope some of the stories will actually go public.
Yeah.
I really want to hear people's experiences with gaming, and I'm not talking only about the positive stuff.
Yeah.
I actually want to hear the negative stuff, because if we don't know about the negative stuff, there's no way we can find a way to fix it over the long run. We want gaming to be a positive force. Though I want to say this, the final answer to their question whether gaming is harmful or helpful is super easy. Neither and both.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's harmful. Depends on how you use it. It's the same thing as a hammer. Hammer can be a great tool and a useful tool if you need to put in some nails into a wall. But it can also be a harmful tool if you need to bash someone's skull in.
Yep.
It's the same with any tool, and gaming, whether you like it or not, it is just another extension of our tool making.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I really hope that some of these stories go public. I wish the committee would just publish them all publicly so people could read them, could maybe leave comments on them. Though that might not be a good idea with how the internet works, but
honestly, what they should do, like a person like puts in their name or whatever into these letters. What they should do, if they do publish these publicly, what they should do is like censor out the names and all that, so keep everyone anonymous.
Yeah, so, that's definitely given. You're forgetting, we in Europe have this thing called GDPR, and we essentially cannot put any public information online either way, and the government especially so. But yeah, I hope some of these stories go public, and I wish to read them.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to another big piece of news. This one is coming from the Game Developer Conference, where the participants, there was nearly 4,000 of them, took part in a survey. And the survey, one of the questions in it was whether workers in the video game industry should unionize. This is actually a sort of an ongoing question that's been going in the industry for, I would say, some time now, maybe even a few years. But the numbers go as this. So, should the video game industry unionize? 47 responded yes. 26% responded maybe, and 16% stated no. So if we are generous and say 13% of them maybe and said yes and 13 said no, quote unquote, they're leaning more that way, let's go 50-50, that would mean that 60% of workers in the video game industry would like the industry to unionize. But there was one more question in the survey. And this question was, do you think the video game industry will actually unionize? Where 21% said it would, 39% said it maybe, and 24% said no, with the rest saying I don't know. Which means roughly 41% believe that it would, and a roughly 44% saying no. So unionization will always be a hard subject to talk about.
Yeah.
Because unions can be really useful, but they can also really make it hard for the industry to evolve.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So, what would you answer? Do you, if you were a video game industry worker, let's say if you were a dev, do you think you would want the industry to unionize?
Well, like what you just said, there's a flip side to everything. This could be a good thing for the workers, but it could also prevent the industry from evolving. And so, on the worker side of things, if I was a developer and I was working at a studio that had let's say 100 work hours, I'd say, heck yeah. But if I was working at a good studio that didn't make me work 100 hours a week and just work 40 hours a week instead, I would say no. And so just vice versa. Depends on what company you work for and what you want to see from the industry.
I think with this survey, I think I would say actually yes. But if I was the person making the survey, I would have given a few more options. I would give one that says definitely yes. Then I would give leaning yes, neutral, leaning no, and definitely no. And if those were the choices, I would give leaning yes.
Yeah.
Because I really don't see a reason why the workers in the gaming industry shouldn't unionize. From
really.
a standpoint of pretty much every other industry has it. Why shouldn't the gaming industry have it? And if you really want to work without a union, you could always choose not to join the union in the end.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see whether unions actually get created in the gaming industry or not. I do have a few friends that are developers, and I do know they work insane hours. So maybe they actually do. Maybe we are actually coming to a point where working in the gaming industry is so hard and so insane hours that it actually might be a good idea to do it. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, going from heavy news into some awful news, and I mean really awful. So, news about a new way of microtransactions getting money from users came out this week, and this is actually nothing news. This is actually coming from a 2012 court case. That's 7 years ago. But it shows that Facebook knowingly targeted children with something that was described internally as friendly fraud. So essentially, it was when children spent money on games without their parents' knowledge or permission. So we actually have a little bit of a interview coming from CBS News where Glynis Bahanon described why she filed the lawsuit against Facebook. So apparently it started with her son playing a little Facebook game called Ninja Saga. And she allowed him to make a purchase in the game. Because, you know, sometimes your kid, maybe he got good grades, so he deserved it. So she expected $19.95 of a charge to come through because that's what she allowed him to buy. But when the credit card bill eventually arrived, she discovered she was charged for almost $1,000 in in-game purchases.
Dang.
Man, that's 50 times more. So she actually sat down with her son, and made him show her what he actually did. So this is quotation. I said, "Show me what you are doing." So there was a little stack of coins, and it would get low. It would blink at him, and he would hit it, and it would go bring, and the coins would shoot up again. No symbol of my Visa card, no $19.95 with the dollar symbol. Nothing. Just like he told me. So essentially the kid just clicked a button that didn't indicate he was making a purchase at all. But it was a purchase.
Dang.
So the 2012 lawsuit actually grew into a class action lawsuit involving many different parties, and was eventually settled back in 2016. But there was really no public statement ever made about this, so we never heard about this until now.
Oh, wow.
This is just awful.
Yeah.
So Facebook itself provided a statement saying, "We routinely examine our practices and in 2016 agreed to update our terms and provided dedicated resources for refund requests related to purchases made by minors on Facebook." I don't think this is an issue about children, honestly, in the end.
No. Honestly, what they should have done, like, what they need to do is update their, like the game Ninja Saga. They should update that game to where, like, after you make your first purchase, you know, and afterwards, if, like, with the coins, you click on the coins again, before they add more coins to the game, it should be a confirm your purchase.
Yeah, always, every single time.
Yeah.
So, there's, you know, some of the leaked data actually shows that about 90% of refund requests for Angry Birds were a result of this practice.
Huh.
And yes, very often it was just the children, clicking something. Because, you just, sometimes you don't have time. Let's say you're waiting in line in a bank and you need to go, so you just, here's the phone, play Angry Birds. And the kids buy something. It's just, holy hell.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which is worse, loot boxes or this.
Honestly, honestly, in my opinion, I would say this, because they don't let you know that you're making a purchase until after the fact.
And to a degree, that's true. But I think loot boxes still might be worse in the long run.
Yeah.
Because psychological effects. But still, this is just... Man. I was seriously thinking about making a video about this thing alone, because this needs to be heard. This needs to be talked about. And it's not talked about enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, really.
It's just, holy hell.
Yeah, and I'll also add, if you're a person that lets your kid play any game at all, and you give them your card information, make sure that when you allow that, make sure the account that the kid's playing on has like a security backup to, like, each time you make a purchase, you actually have to put in your password to actually make it go through.
I would honestly recommend this. There are apps for your phone that allow you to make a new specialized credit card for each single individual purchase.
Huh, okay.
So I personally use that as more of a security precaution. When I... sometimes, you're ordering something out of China, for example. And you aren't completely sure whether you trust the company you're buying from. So I create a new credit card that's worth only for that one purchase. But this could also be used for this. And honestly, I don't really see a reason why not to do this. Because these apps are so automated. You just... pretty much for every purchase, it just automatically creates a new credit card or a debit card. Whatever you want, you can set it precisely as you want, and super easy to use. This is probably the way to do it. Or maybe like create a special credit card, for your child that has a specified limit of how much they can spend. And it will not allow them to go over it, because it's essentially limited to how much money is it in the credit card's account, like limited to $5 a week or something.
Huh.
That could be an option, I think, for a lot of parents.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
I was not aware of that.
Huh.
I was not aware of that. That's a good one.
Yeah, the one I'm using is actually made by the bank I'm with, but you can find some online. I'll try to find the one I was using originally and send you a link after the show.
Okay.
But okay, let's move on. Let's move on into something more positive for the game industry. Let's talk about the Witcher TV series. And this one will be quick. So, the showrunner, Lauren Hissrich, said that the show is definitely not going to be for 5-year-olds. Suggesting the TV series will have more of a mature overtone, I would say.
Awesome.
Which I'm very glad to hear. But I'm still really scared of how they will manage to really do this, because The Witcher is not easy to do.
No, it's not.
Though I will say, in the past years, we've seen a lot of hard drama done well, even in the fantasy and sci-fi genres. For fantasy, it's obviously Game of Thrones. For sci-fi, I have to say The Expanse is amazing. If you haven't seen that, highly suggest watching that. So hopefully Netflix manages to do this well. I'm still, you know who still scares me? Superman as The
What?
Witcher.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping he can actually nail Geralt, like nail his personality and all that.
I would say I actually hope he can act.
Yeah.
Because in the Superman movies, he was just bad.
Hmm.
But yeah, hopefully it's good.
Yeah. Which, with Netflix's previous track record of like adapting the Castlevania series, going off that alone for me gives me faith that they will do right by The Witcher.
I think they will do right in terms of screenplay, in terms of visuals, but I'm scared of the acting.
Oh yeah.
But moving on, but just a little bit, we're gonna stay with TV series on Netflix. Resident Evil is coming to Netflix as a TV series. At least this is coming from an exclusive report by Deadline, who claimed the Netflix series is going to be produced by Constantine Film. If you don't know, that's actually the same production company behind the Resident Evil movie adaptations. And reportedly, it should expand the Resident Evil universe and deepen the exciting mythology. So, this is interesting. I think a lot of fans are going to be angry, actually, about this. They're still not going to get a faithful Resident Evil adaptation. It's still going to be an action flick.
Yeah. But honestly, though, if you separate, since this will be more of the taking place in the movie universe and not in the game universe.
Exactly.
I would say, going off basis of the movies, hey, it's not the Resident Evil movies are not good Resident Evil movies, but they are good action movies. So
I would say they're decent action movies, but okay.
Either or.
Yeah, but still, in terms of gaming movies, Resident Evil has been sadly among the best. But they at least weren't complete shit. They were no Super Mario Brothers.
No, that was pure garbage.
That's something when you watch high, you still don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it's probably still in the very early works. There's still no real statement from Netflix at the moment, so maybe this is all bullshit we're making up, but hopefully not. I would actually like to see this happen.
Yeah, and honestly, one of the questions I have is, will this be a live action series, or will this be a animated series?
So, since it's made by the same production studio that makes the movies, I would guess it's going to be a live action one. But who knows? Okay, and our last piece of news for today is actually hilarious. So there's a newly discovered shark species. And now you might be thinking, what the fuck has this to do with gaming? So, I'm going to give you a hint, and probably only really old people will understand what's going on. The name of the shark species is Galagagon nordkistai. It's a freshwater shark, and you can find it in the rivers of South Dakota.
Wow.
Anybody have an idea why this is related to gaming? Yeah, I thought no. So apparently it's because the teeth of the shark are shaped similarly to the spaceships in a game called Galaga.
Galaga.
Galaga, sorry. Which comes back from very early on of gaming, very, very early on. It's a 1980s arcade game,
Yeah.
originally released in 1981, but somehow it's still popular to this day. It's even being released on modern platforms. Maybe it's not such
Yeah.
a household name. Let me actually show you the teeth and the spaceships side by side so you can see that. Yeah, they actually seem pretty similar, I would say.
Hmm.
But man, isn't it awesome when you have gamers that are probably also biologists?
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, it like gaming has been like games have been around for over 50 years now, and as you get older, those older people were also might have also played games. So pretty soon, as the years go by, there'll be more and more generations that have actually played video games in their lives. So,
Hmm?
which yeah, I think this is freaking awesome.
Yeah. And that's it for the news. So
Yep.
let's take a look at recommendations for games next week. So I'll start if you don't mind. I would like to start with a game called Earth Atlantis. And this is a side scrolling shooter which takes place in a post apocalyptic underwater world. And it really reminds me of drawings that you could find, at least here in the Czech Republic, in the books of Jules Verne.
Huh.
And I really liked those books when I was a child. They was essentially my introduction towards sci-fi.
Hmm.
The game itself looks like a pretty regular shoot 'em up, essentially. But that doesn't mean it's a bad game. I have had plenty of fun with shoot 'em ups. Pretty recently, I talked about Jets and Guns, and this seems actually pretty similar, but just set underwater.
Okay.
So yeah, this thing is coming out on the 29th. Sadly, we do not have a price on this, but I'm actually going to try and message the devs if they would like to maybe have a review done of this. This might be fun.
Okay.
What about you? What would you like to recommend for
Okay.
next week?
I talked about a little of this last week, but there was more of a PSA, and now it's finally came out this week for the rest of the world, and that is Kingdom Hearts 3. It it is finally coming out. uh,
You're probably going to play this week, aren't you?
yeah, I've already got on my PS4 preloaded and everything. Just waiting for the clock to go down. Yeah, it if you're a fan of the previous Kingdom Hearts games, from what I heard, yeah, this game will be somewhat easy to get into, but I just have to wait and see because I haven't played it myself yet. But yeah, if you like these types of games, if you're a fan of the series like I am, I was 7 years old when the first game came out back in 2002. That was a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's coming out this Tuesday for PS4 and Xbox One, and it's a full price game. So, but yeah, if you're looking forward to this game as much as I am, I'd say go for it. I'm really excited. I cannot believe this is actually real. In less than 32 hours, I'll be playing the game myself. So,
Well, I hope you have fun.
yeah.
I actually
I'm
have one
really.
more recommendation. And this is a game I will not be playing. Definitely not, because it's not my genre. This game is called Re-Legion, but it's a cyberpunk real-time strategy.
Huh.
With apparently the premise being that you are a cult leader and you're trying to convert citizens to join your cult.
Wow.
Which sounds like a really interesting premise for an RTS, to be
Yeah, it
honest.
does.
And I personally, the last RTS game I really played was probably something like Command and Conquer Tiberium Sun, maybe the like
Hmm.
generals. But I'm not an RTS guy. I don't have the patience and I don't have uh, the strategic thinking for RTS games.
Hmm.
But if this game is done well, I think currently at the market there actually is a lack of good quality RTS games.
Yeah.
People are pretty much still playing StarCraft.
Oh yeah.
So if this thing is done well, if it has good balance in the multiplayer setting, it could actually become a good thing. Maybe even like have its own esports scene or something like that, because this is a theme we haven't seen. I don't even remember a Cyberpunk RTS ever, I would say, honestly.
Yeah. I have a question to you on
Mm-hmm.
this game, and the first question I have is when you start the game, do you have like a preset cult
Oh, I don't
that you
know.
said?
It's not released yet, and I will not be playing it.
Okay, I was gonna say one thing that would be cool if this game does have it. It would be cool if like you can like create your cult from scratch and like choose what your cult believes in and go off that. I think that right there would be freaking cool.
But
Hopefully that's the case.
I'm actually reading the description here on Steam. So apparently, there's one interesting mechanic which actually sounds really cool. Humans are a resource in this game,
Oh yeah.
and you can convert the enemy forces. I'm guessing that the enemy forces will try to convert your forces.
Huh.
Man, this sounds really, really, really interesting, and I'm sad I don't play RTS games when I see this, because this actually looks amazing, and I would love to see the story for this, but I'm not willing to
Oh
play
yeah.
it for just for that.
Well, honestly, me, I've dabbled in RTSs in the past, but I'm not a big fan of it myself. And unfortunately, if this only remains stays on the PC for the moment, I will not be able to give it a try because this game really does sound interesting to me.
Yeah, you know, RTS and PC just go better together.
Yeah,
But either
I
way,
know.
it's coming out on the 31st. We do not have how much it costs, but so far it seems actually really interesting. Well, actually,
Yeah, it
there
does.
are some reviews of this from some curators, but I'm trying to see. Uh, so the Game of the Year curator says, "Eh, not Game of the Year, but don't play this before you played something else."
Hmm.
Uh, Somebody called Gaming Taylor only says he recommends it, but he doesn't have really that much information on it. And obviously there are no user reviews since it's not out yet.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that's it for my recommendations. Anything else you would like to recommend?
Nope, that's it for me as well.
So with that being said, we're going to take the show to an end. We do have one announcement to make. Next week, the show is going to take on a different day, and from there on, it's going to be on a different day forever. But we don't know which day it's going to be yet. Sadly, my schedule is not allowing us to do it on Sunday anymore. It's just really not an option anymore. I have to wake up early on Monday, so It's 10 p.m. right now here. Pretty much I end the show when I go to bed. I would prefer to have time to maybe like do something after on Sunday evening.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, instead of doing it Sunday evening, your time we could do it even earlier in the day if you want to.
Well, I was thinking more doing it on Saturday, if that would work
Okay.
out for you. It's just easier. I think the
Yeah.
time frame is good.
Oh yeah.
So it's likely
Okay,
going to
do
be
that.
Saturday, subject to change, but most likely Saturday.
Okay.
But with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. We hope you enjoyed today's show. And if you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up here on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. If you are watching on Steemit, maybe you want to give us an upvote and follow the blog. Either way, be sure to leave a comment and be sure to tune in next time for more gaming news. And see you guys later with more gaming content.
You have a good one.